Hello, everybody, and welcome to Big Mood Yoga, chair yoga for beginners, with me doing a voiceover this time. Let's go! All right, everybody, so today we're going to be starting in this nice seated posture. We're just going to take a few nice deep breaths, get ourselves nice and centered, and set a little intention for our practice today. We're going to start by doing a nice seated twist. So you're going to put one arm on the arm of your chair. If you don't have an arm, you can just put it down next to your glute. The other arm just slightly above the knee, and you're going to give a slight twist on your exhale. And you're going to hold this posture for a few breaths before coming back to center on an exhale. Take one more nice inhale, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to hold this pose for a few breaths, and once you feel like you've had a nice good stretch, you're going to take a nice deep exhale to come back to center. You're going to drop one arm down and inhale up, and exhale to lean over to the side. While we're doing these side stretches, you want to make sure you're keeping a nice alignment of your shoulders and your hips. That will make sure that you're keeping a nice spine alignment, and you won't run the risk of kind of tweaking your back in a weird way. Once you've had a good stretch on that one side, we're going to do the exact same thing on the opposite side. And once you've had a few nice deep breaths here and you feel like you've gotten a nice sufficient stretch, we're going to exhale to come back to center for a nice seated pose. And we're going to come and do a nice little arm raise here. So we're going to drop our hands down, and on an inhale, bring them up and do some of those fist squeezes that we did in our previous video. And once you feel like you've had a nice sufficient amount of those, you're going to bring your arms out to the side and slowly make some circles. Only do this as wide and as fast as feels comfortable. Make sure you go the opposite direction as well. And once you feel like you've gotten a nice good amount of these circles, we're going to slowly bring our hands back down to center. We're going to come into a couple of forward folds here. So again, we're just going to slightly bend at the waist, keeping our nice straight spine. I bring my hands behind my calves because that feels comfortable for me. If it's better for you and you're further out in your stretch and you want to come in front of your legs, by all means, that works perfectly fine. Once you've had a good stretch there, we're going to bring the arms up and over our head for a nice tall mountain pose. Take a deep breath or two here, and then we're going to bring the hands down. We're going to come into another forward fold. Nice little chair sun salutation for everybody today. So once you feel like you've had a nice good stretch in this forward fold, we're going to take a nice inhale to come up. And from here, we're going to go into some eagle arms. So I'm going to bring one arm up and wrap it, the second arm under and around. Your hands might overlap in this pose. They might not come even close. Here I'm turning to the side so you can see how far in front of you these arms should be. Keep your shoulders down and back to keep that nice spine alignment, and you'll get a nice good stretch here. We're going to hold this pose for a few deep breaths, and once you feel like you've had a nice good stretch, on an exhale, you're going to bring the arms down to your side. I've added a little rest pose here for you. If you don't need to take this extra forward fold, by all means, go right ahead and just shift to the second side of the eagle arms. For me, I was feeling a little tense across my upper back, so I wanted to really get that nice and fully stretched out before I repeated on the opposite side. And again, we're just going to hold this pose here for a few nice breaths. I'm keeping a nice awareness of my body and my feet into the floor and my back, so that way I have a nice good posture. Once you've had enough, we're going to come back down and we're going to bring one of our arms up and over. I'm going to give a gentle pull to create a nice stretch on my inner arm. This should feel really good as it's a kind of a counter stretch to the eagle arms that we just did. We're going to repeat on the opposite side. Keeping a nice good spine alignment here while we're doing this. Again, shoulders over hips. All right, I'm sliding my chair back here so y'all can see my feet a little bit better because we're going to do some leg work. I'm going to go ahead and turn to the side here so y'all can see the angles here a little bit better. So I'm keeping that nice spine alignment. I'm seated a little bit further up in my chair, and I'm bringing one leg up and I'm pointing my foot down towards the ground. Keeping my back nice and straight while I do this. And I'm going to bring my foot out in front of me, flexed, and then I'm going to also point my toe. Again, take as much time with these poses as you need and see what feels comfortable for you. And then we're going to repeat on the opposite end. Inhale to bring the leg up. Exhale to put it out into the flex. And then we're going to inhale to point the toe. And as a final few leg works, I'm going to do the same things, but I'm going to bring my feet up off the floor just to give a nice extra stretch. Also because I like to flex my calves. Make sure you repeat on the opposite side as well. And by all means, if there was any of the poses from last week's video that you'd like to incorporate, or if you want to extend any of these, go right ahead. Thank you so much for joining us today at Big Mood Yoga, and I hope that you're doing well. Namaste.